USA Warrior Stories is a not-for-profit organization designed to record, archive, and share videos of veteran stories, to help veterans make a connection with one another and to help us all better understand their sacrifices for our freedoms.
I joined the Navy, and I basically joined as a submariner, and I did that for 10 years, then went over to the dark side, as we call it, once I got some education under my belt, and did pretty much every platform. So from the aircraft carrier all the way down to the frigate. So I've done all the platforms. Mainstay was with the guided missile destroyer kind of combatant. So that's basically what I've done in that process. Been to roughly about 120 to 30 countries at that time. Ended up doing a Twilight Tour at Special Operations Command in Tampa, Florida. But right prior to that, I had some great experience that kind of started the Old Glory thing at the Pentagon.
I am the flag of the United States of America. My name is Old Glory.
Old Glory is a Navy poem written by Navy personnel for the Navy and for the Marine Corps. That was it. It wasn't written for anyone else. So for the most part, and that was decades ago. And I got involved because of just there are senior officers at the Pentagon that were either retiring or they were being promoted. So they would get me to read Old Glory as it was written. And even then, I'm just not going to do the boring version. So I'm going to spice it up. And I did. I spiced it up. And because I had the passion, even at their version, it drew attention. And it caused those admirals and generals to pay attention to what was being said. That I was confronted numerous times, even by a Coast Guard admiral. He came up to me and says, "Hey, that's a great job you did there, but there's a big problem. You go through this entire speech and you never mention the Coast Guard, not even once." So he was very upset about that. So I was like, "Well, sir, it's not my poem. It's the Navy's, and I'm just reading it." So after a while, I got beat up so bad about it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start changing this. Otherwise, this is not going to stop. So I took it upon myself to just change that. Okay, put the Coast Guard in there. But you just can't throw the Coast Guard in there. You got to it has to flow because I'm an orator. So I got to make it flow.
And also when I fly at half-mast, to honor my soldiers and my sailors, my airmen, my Coast Guardsmen, and my Marines.
So I did that. And then it just kept going. Next thing you know, the Army chaplain comes up and he says, "You know what? That's a good poem you got there, but you know, it seems like you're saying the United States is equal to God." I was like, "Oh, absolutely not. I never say the United States is equal to God." "Well, you say you don't bow before anyone, so you don't bow before God." I was like, "Well, no, that's not true." So I'm like, "Okay, sir." So I went and changed that, and fixed it.
Except for my God, I bow to no one.
So now the chaplains are happy. And then that just kept happening on and off, until eventually I think I had it right. I'm looking good. I left the Pentagon. Everybody's happy. And I was averaging 50 retirements a year. So here I am. I'm rolling with this thing, right? And CENTCOM, SOCOM, they're happy. Everybody's getting what they want. So now the 4-star general, his name was General Thomas. So he was the commander a couple of years ago. Now he knew he was going to retire. So he comes up to me, and he loves Old Glory. Okay, he loves it. So, but he comes up to me and he says, "Man," and he says, "You know what? This is Old Glory. I love it. I love it." And he put his hand on my shoulder and he said, "You need to put some soft equities into that." When he says soft, he means SOF, Special Operations Forces. So he's like, "You need to put some soft equities in it." And he just said it so eloquently. So I'm like, soft equities. I knew what he was meaning. So, and he said, "You go through everything." He said, "You do got a lot of Navy into this." So he says, "Go through everything." And, so I'm like, okay, his point was very valid. So, but now the task is, how do you do that without breaking the beauty of this poem and making it sound, sexy, and patriotic and just deep. So I'm asking around people and I get the aggregate of what I need.
I led my Special Operations Forces in the quiet of the night, and at the tip of the spear, I saw them fight fearlessly throughout the globe.
If you go through the original poem and go through what you see that I produced, it's a totally different poem. And it strikes a different tone. And it's a tone of strength and compassion. is what this is. Not just about the military. It's about us as a country. And you get out of that. Yeah, we're talking about the military, conduit the flag, and but I don't really state the Constitution much, but you get that. People say, well, you're out there doing this, the service members are dying for you. Actually, no, they're not dying for you, and they're not even dying for the flag. They're dying for the Constitution. They raise their hand, and they say, I promise or I swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and to bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That's what they do. And you are benefiting from that. So they're not really dying for you, they're dying for your benefits that you have. So that's even more special that they are doing that. They're dying for your benefits, so that's what people need to get from that. So when you mess with the flag, you're really messing with the troops indirectly, and you're messing with the Constitution, you're messing with everything that we stand for. So it's very important that people really connect the dots. So I say all that to say, when I do Old Glory, and I mention the service members all the time, of course, and I mention the flag all the time, obviously it's Old Glory, but really what I'm doing with Old Glory is I'm using the flag as a connection, as a conduit. I'm using the flag as a conduit to connect the service member to the Constitution.
I would like for you to know that I believe that if our flag could speak, these are the words that it would say. Ladies and gentlemen, I now present Old Glory. I am the flag of the United States of America. My name is Old Glory. I fly atop the world's tallest buildings, and I stand watch in America's halls of justice. I fly majestically across the great institutions of learning, and I stand guard with the greatest military power in the world. Look up and see me. I stand for peace, truth, honor, and justice. I stand for freedom. I am confident, I am brave, I am proud, and I am ready. When I am flown with my fellow banners, my head is held a little higher. My arms are a little truer. Except for my God, I bow to no one. I am recognized all over the world. I am sovereign. I am saluted. I am respected. I am honored. I am loved. And yet I am feared. I have fought in every battle of every war for more than 200 years. Some of these battles include Gettysburg, Shiloh, Appomattox, San Juan Hill, the trenches of France, the Aragon Forest, Anzio, Rome, the beaches of Normandy, Guam, Okinawa, Korea, Quezon, Saigon, Vietnam, Afghanistan, Iraq, Kuwait, Syria, and scores of other places long forgotten by all, except those that were there with me. I know because I was there. I led my special operations forces in the quiet of the night, and at the tip of the spear, I saw them fight fearlessly throughout the globe every day of the year. I watched over them even during the casualties of Desert One, and they still loved me. I was on a small hill, Iwo Jima. I was dirty, battle-worn, tired, but my soldiers and my sailors, my airmen, my Coast Guardsmen, and my Marines, they all cheered me, and I was so very proud. I was at Ground Zero in New York City on September the 11th as cowardly fanatics attacked America. I was raised from the ashes of once proud buildings by brave firefighters. These were heroes who risked their lives to save others, showing all that America, although bloodied, will never be beaten, because those who would destroy me cannot win. For I am the symbol of freedom, of one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I have been soiled, I've been burned, I've been torn, and I have been trampled on in the streets of my own country. And when it is done by those whom I have served with in battle, it hurts. But hear me today when I say, I will overcome because I am strong. I have slipped the surely bounds of earth, and from my vantage point on the moon, I stand watch over the uncharted new frontiers of space. And I have been that silent witness to all of America's finest hours. But my finest hour comes when my stripes are torn into strips to be used as bandages to cover the wounds of my fellow comrades on the field of battle. And also when I fly at half-mast to honor my soldiers and my sailors, my airmen, my Coast Guardsmen, and my Marines. But most importantly, when I'm placed into the trembling arms of a grieving mother at the gravesite of her fallen son or her fallen daughter, I am so very proud. My name is Old Glory. Long may I wave, dear God, long may I wave.